94.3 Abuja, the station that plays every song. You know you're in the Classic Lounge. Of course, it's 21 minutes past 11 a.m. on a Friday, 18 March 2022. My name is Faith, and always on Friday we get to talk about what's going on in the National Assembly, and during that in focus, and we get to bring in most of the time a lawmaker to help us make sense of all of these issues. And today we have a distinguished senator here, and our conversations are going to be quite broad. I have in the studio distinguished Senator Sani Musa, representing Niger East Central District. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. So one of the things that you would also note about, the distinguished senator is that he is also running for the position of the chairmanship of the APC. Of course, the National Convention is coming up very shortly. I think I talked about this yesterday during the update of electoral matters, that of course he had to purchase the form. So we're going to be talking a lot about that as well. So let's start with this, because I think I saw in the news where, they purchase the form for you. Now, this is something that at the end of the day, Nigerian politicians do this a lot. They tell us that they purchase the forms for them, or that my people asked me to run after consultations. But is this your ambition, or they purchased the form for you really and they convinced you to run?
Thank you. That is my ambition.
Okay.
I got myself prepared for it, and my followers or my fans believe that, there's someone that can come with a new, and they decided that they should contribute and get me the form.
And get you the form.
And I'm so pleased with that.
That is so cool, because it's 20 million naira. That's a lot of money. So.
Yeah. That's the commitment.
They believe in you so much then. So do you think that you have what it takes then to put the APC together? The APC has had different issues in recent times.
Definitely, I do. Because it's from one's antecedents and the pedigree that one goes with. You'll be able to gauge to see if you'll be able to face the challenges ahead. And the best of me is when there are challenges, then it is when I do the best.
Do you think the APC can be salvaged? Because if you look at this, the APC has a lot of infightings in different states. At some point, it started to look like the ruling party could not put its house together or get its acts together. So between now and when the elections happen, how are you going to manage this? There's a lot of infighting and a lot of divisions and factions.
I guess you are aware that APC is the largest party in Africa. Today we have over 43 million followers, the subscribers, members that have subscribed to the party. And when you're talking about over 43 million, and you feel that there will be no dispute, then you are not being serious with yourself. There is certainly going to be dispute, and this is a political period where people of divergent views are thinking of what they will aspire, and every group is trying to strategize to gain power. But notwithstanding, for someone like me who intends to become the national chairman, I think I have done so much of my kind of articulating all the various challenges that are there, and I feel that at 21st century we should have a kind of leadership that is very transformational. The issue of being status quo all the time, where we play the kind of politics we've been doing from First Republic, Second Republic, Third Republic, and now, no, come on, we have to move, we have to shift. And what do you do that? How do you do that? You have to get someone that have the requisite knowledge and being decisive, someone that can be decisive to be able to confront whoever in the cause of making peace for the party to progress.
One of the things that you have said is that you will end candidates in position if elected as APC National Chairman. Is that part of your blueprint for the party? And how easy do you think that will be? You said you will end in position, candidate in position. How easy do you think that will be? Is that part of your agenda?
What is the beauty of democracy? And what do you define democracy? You said government of the people, by the people, for the people. So why do you impose? Allow people to choose their choice, and whatever. Yes, every one of us has the right to have who he or she wants. But that notwithstanding, allow the people to make a choice. And by so doing, when the result is out, everybody will accept that result, and amicably they will put their heads together, the whole goal about everyone being ambitious is to see how he can contribute or she can contribute to the political development, socio-political development, economic development of this country. And all of us have almost the same ambition. So I believe that imposing someone or being a godfather to somebody and making sure that that person scales through, I think at this age we should move away from it.
We should move away from it.
Sure.
Is 26th sacrosanct for the convention?
It's very sacrosanct. Our leader have said it. Mr. President have also said it. There is no change. So I believe that 26 is very sacrosanct.
Okay. So let's talk about this. I was, trying to put together, of course, my research for this show, and I came across this, and I want to get your sincere answer because, of course, a couple of years ago it was a big deal. So this particular report talks about CSOs tackling you over anti-social media bill, saying that the person who was trying to gag social media and free speech should not be allowed to be in charge of the ruling party, because then it would show where the ruling party is tilting towards. I am going to talk about this social media bill because, it was a big deal at the time, and during public hearing, a lot of people opposed it. And, the rest to say is history. You sponsored that bill. Now, there is the campaigning against you that if you could put forward a bill that was, so to speak, to gag people's free speech and inhibit their human rights, why should you be allowed to be in charge of a big party like the APC?
Unfortunately, that is not true. I'm sure you didn't read the bill. And those people that are agitating that we want to gag the press, we want to deny free press, we want to kill social media in Nigeria, they did not even read the bill.
You still support this bill?
I still support the bill.
This bill that gives a lot of power to the security agencies and duplicates
it does not give
the Cybercrime Act and other.
It does not give a lot of power to the security agencies. You did not read the bill.
I did.
If you read the bill, you will understand. Don't tell me what is happening in the United Kingdom when they were bringing up censorship on their social media on the internet. What did you say about that? What did you say about about Canada? What did you say about France?
But they are censoring.
No. Listen. When they are regulating, they are not regulating. We are not regulating people. We are regulating intermediaries, so that intermediaries will come with a standard, and those that subscribe to their platforms should be able to abide by those standards. That's what we're saying. You can't deny me using my social media platforms. So if I cannot be denied, why would I want to deny anyone?
So do you think it's the wording of this bill that got it?
It's not the wording, it's that people have not read it, and they feel that are very vocal. They feel that we're able to incite the majority to believe that, oh, this bill is there to disallow us use of social media. It's not true. Today, a lot of Nigerians have seen it, and we need it. Look at what is happening. Look at the insecurity in this country. Why, if we have a social media that is well regulated, there are certain things that will not happen.
Do you think social media is the cause of the insecurity
it's
in
not
the country?
It's not the cause. It's a platform where people misuse and disseminate wrong information.
But we already have laws that address this, from the Cybercrime Act, the libel laws, different laws that already address this.
Laws are there to be reviewed at all this. I mean, at every opportunity you have, you review the law. And laws are supposed to be universal. They're supposed to be universal. So when people are talking about gagging the press, doing this, doing that, why don't you tell me United Arab Emirates are gagging the press or are refusing people to use the internet? Or why don't you tell me that you cannot use internet in China? Or why don't you tell me you cannot wait? Hold on.
You're mentioning are not democracies. You know that, right?
Hold on. What, you can't tell me they are not democracies.
China is not a democracy.
Okay, are you telling me?
Neither is Dubai.
Are you telling me that Canada is not democracy?
But Canada
are Canada not regulating? Are Canada not regulating the media space?
They're not regulating their people and tagging their people from talking.
I can prove to you.
Canada is not saying that people should not speak.
And who said Nigerians should not speak because there is a law? All we said is that if you are going to say anything, make sure you know what you're saying. You cannot just wake up and post somebody's face, or you went and Photoshop, put somebody's face and send a nude picture, and you said, oh, this man has been caught somewhere. That man,
but the laws against that
man
already.
you did. if the law is not effective, it's always good to bring another law that will make it very effective. In every country, in every sphere, it's done. Even in the United States, when the president was posting everything, a senator of the republic, Senator Elizabeth, made effort to bring a legislation that will regulate that, and that legislation is still there. So what are we talking about?
By the end of the day, it was the social media networks that regulated him themselves, not necessarily.
And that is what we asked in Nigeria to be done. The intermediaries are the social media networks like the Facebook, like the Twitter, and then the ISPs that they use the data, the platform they use. That was what we asked, that it should be regulated. And when you read those things where a platform said, do not do this, and you did, of course, somebody must be held responsible for doing that. And you have to prove that in a court of law.
So don't you think now that looking back and seeing the kind of opposition that, that law brought, and seeing people talk about this like this, that maybe if you want to still, because your intentions that you're saying are good intentions, because for this bill, how about rewarding it and trying to look at the part where people are not so happy about?
A committee is still working on that bill. The committee kept going back and front. They are working on that bill.
Okay.
And I believe that those areas that need to be looked into
will be looked into.
Of course.
Okay, absolutely. Fantastic. We're still going to go back to talk about the APC, but I want to talk about a couple of other things, because like I said, you are also a senator, and a lot of people do want to know what their senator is doing. Let's talk about constitutional amendment bills and the bills that concerned women that were thrown out. One of the things, of course, we had women, CSOs all protesting. I think there was a protest up until Tuesday. And the House of Representatives has decided to reconsider a number of those bills. The Senate hasn't done that. What's going on?
You can't say the Senate hasn't done that. I'm not the spokesman.
No
I'm not the spokesman of the Senate, but I can just speak in. Let me tell you, every legislation that you're trying to bring to fore, you must articulate all your demands, and you see, we are in democracy. You must lobby, and in the course of lobbying, you should make it look as it is the view of the generality of those people that you are proposing this bill for. You don't make it don't own it. It's just like when people are saying you brought the social media bill. Social media bill is not owned by me. It's a standard I'm trying to bring for the country. And so also, these bills that you're talking about are standards that we're trying to bring to the country. But we have to look at those standards. Are they in equality with our own culture, our own tradition, our own environment? If they are, why not? And if they are going to uplift the standard of these people that are agitating for this thing, why will we not do it? But when you don't look at it from that angle, definitely my own perception of it will be different from your own perception. So you have to enlighten me, and you have to adapt it to my own, to the peculiarity of our environment. This is all it is.
So you were saying that there's a possibility of the Senate still going back to look at this bill?
Sure, there's no law that is forever closed. You can always bring them up, and possibly you review one or two things that maybe people are not very clear about, or the legislators are not very clear about, and then by the time you put those things right, I mean, why not?
Personally,
we
what do
want
you
this
think about
country
those
to
bills?
be better. It's a good. I am always a supporter of affirmative action, especially for the woman. When we are talking about gender, we have to define it. What kind of activities are we talking about? Our culture today, if you come to the northern Nigeria, you can't tell me that the LGTB, or what do you call them?
But that was about affirmative action.
No, it's not about affirmative action.
There were bills about affirmative action.
There are bills about affirmative action that were not defined.
They were not defined.
They were not defined.
What about the one about being able to confer citizenship on, the husband of a woman?
What we looked at today, we have a lot of issues with especially our borders are very porous. And we don't want to give room for uncertainties,
So-
especially in terms of security.
So the women are going to contribute in security. Is that what you're saying?
No, not contributing to security, but issues. I mean, when they are kind of RNG things, I mean, that's all we try
Men
to.
cannot do that. Just women can do it. Really, Senator? Okay, so because of time, we're going to move on from that. Even though I would like to stay on it, but I can't. Let's talk about the Electoral Act. Now, the Senate refused to consider the president's request to amend some parts of it, talking about how people need to resign before they seek elective positions. What's your position on that? Is the Senate, totally done with it?
One, I will have to just say something about the Electoral Act. Electoral Act, if you look at it today, the contents of it, it's something that will evolve and make our democracy more solid.
I mean, we'll congratulate you for making sure that it came through this night.
You can effectively look at how ineffective most of our political structures have been, especially political parties in this country. And what we have done with the Electoral Act today, what the Electoral Act comes with is to see how we can make political parties more solid, more institutionalize them, to make them look, nobody owns them. It's for all. So when we are talking about that, then you have to look at giving everyone equal opportunity. And so doing, over time, we are copying this democracy from somewhere, for God's sake. So I don't see why we should not be able to adapt to the same system we're copying, so that we can get the right people at the right places.
So you support the idea of political appointees resigning, 180 days before?
Yeah, it depends on how my support could be. In some areas, yes, it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing because it will give a level playing ground for those that are very weak, but they have something, they have a lot of potentials too. You understand? And it will give the majority of people the opportunity to elect those that they want. But at the same time, it will create a lot of vacuums for the administration, especially like we are in our third year. It will create a lot of vacuum, and before we can have we have a lot of, I mean.
So there's still a lot to figure out where that is concerned.
Exactly. Those are areas I just feel. Look, if we ask everyone to, assuming I have 21 commissioners, and almost 15 commissioners want to resign to go and run for election, I will not want to stop them.
That's a huge vacuum as
well. I will not want to stop them from going. But there will be a lot of vacuum, and that creates a situation where for the next 1 year, nothing is happening in my administration, and that creates some kind of disservice to the same electorates that I'm trying to.
So it seems that you support an amendment of that particular clause.
You mean I, as an individual?
As an individual.
Senate has passed that bill, and I cannot go against whatever
the senator said. Yes. Okay, so for ordinary Nigerians right now, this is a very precarious time. There is blackout all over the place. Diesel and gas prices are skyrocketing. Fuel queues are there. Aviation fuel is scarce. Nigerians are actually suffering right now. The Senate, interesting enough, has not really said a lot about this. What's going on, and what do you think we need to do to solve these problems that are able to ground the entire country's economy?
If you said the Senate have not done anything, I think you're very wrong, because it's not every working of the Senate that is in the public gallery.
Okay.
I am a member of the Appropriation Committee, I'm a member of the Finance Committee, and I knew what it's taking us to do the right thing. We have engaged over 400 agencies of government.
In recent times?
We are currently doing it over issues to do with revenue generation for this country. That is on one part. You're talking about blackouts. We are facing a situation whereby in this country we are still importing petroleum products. You are very much aware that in the past 16 years, nothing has been done in the oil industry. And with the coming of this administration, we've been able to battle to pass the PIB, that's the Petroleum Industry Bill,
but now it
has become an act. It's not on hold. It's part of it that is on hold when you're talking
the implementation.
About the implementation is still going on in phases. But if you're talking about subsidy, yeah. And the reason why there should be subsidy for now is because you look at the federal government have just re-awarded the contract for the rehabilitation of the refineries we have. Not until one those can come on stream. And for me, I would have loved to see where we can support the Dangote refinery to come on stream.
It has been supported. The federal government already has a stake in the
When
Dangote
you're talking
refinery.
about supporting, you're not talking about just giving funding for once.
What other support?
Whatever they need to do to support that project to come to life. They said at the end of this year we're going to start.
The government has been heavily supporting
that's not
project.
that's not enough. Come on.
What does he want the government to do?
It's not enough. What I'm talking about, there are some certain things that the government need to pump in. We're talking about putting 2-point-something trillion or 3-point-something trillion to subsidize our petroleum products.
What about modular refineries? If you're talking about the Dangote refinery, what about modular refineries?
It's a good development if we can put it right. And the petroleum industry act has also given that opportunity for investors to come. Because look, we have to liberalize this sector, whether we like it or not.
Let me ask you this. When this fuel scarcity situation started, it was about the fact that contaminated fuel was imported. As the Senate, is the Senate going to have a hearing to find out who the culprits are and how to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and to address fuel queues right now so that we do not have them anymore?
As I'm talking to you, at the moment, at the committee level, they are working on this. They're investigating to find out where the problem is and how we can, for future, this should not happen again. I think at the committee level they're working on it.
They're working on it.
Yes,
Fantastic. As a senator, you have a lot to, you're part of different committees, and then you're also the chairman of the Senate Services Committee. Now you want to take on the position of the APC chairman. Do you think you can combine both? Is it not a lot of work?
It's not combining both. It's leaving one and going for the other.
So that means that you are not going to, if you win the APC
If
chairmanship,
I win the APC
you're not
national
returning
chairmanship,
as a senator.
No, I cannot. I will give someone that opportunity to go there.
To do that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of very powerful people also gunning for this position, especially in North Central. Do you think that you have what it takes to let people see you as a person who can actually take the leadership of this position?
This is the most interesting question I'm having from you now. Let me just say it. From the 1960s, when Nigeria got its independence and we started to practice what we call democracy, from unitary form of government to the regional form of government that we were doing, and you'll see a kind of development we've seen. If I remember, most of the edifices we see, like the Ahmadu Bello University, most of these things, Ahmadu Bello Stadium, so many things in the north were done during the Sardauna era. And then there was self-service. But today we have seen leaders that have been there from those days till today. How do you expect a change? Look, there's transformational change.
So you're saying that people have been there too long?
We're too long. We are in the digital age now.
Interesting.
We are in the digital age. If at your age, between 18 and 35, you constitute the majority, and you still, you are still being looked at as if you cannot manage your own affairs, you cannot bring a change, you cannot bring a new, then there is certainly a problem. The status quo in this country needs to change. We are stagnant in terms of development. We know the APC government came in and was forcefully using whatever resources we have to change the dynamics of infrastructure in this country. We need something that will propel it. We need something that will leave that legacy to move on. You cannot tell me you had the opportunity to make this country much better than it is today. Much better than it is today. And you still want to maintain that? No. Give other people the chance.
So basically, you are saying that these other people vying for this position, they have been in the system too long. They are old dogs that you can teach new tricks, and parting into
definitely technology is there. I don't see why I should hold my cab going to those money bags to give me money to run the affairs of a party with over 43 million Nigerians, young men, dynamic young men. Why can't I use those potentials to tap in? Look, I don't need to tell you, all members are financial members. I will use the kind of digital technology efforts we have today to raise money for the party. When I'm talking about money, billions of naira for the party, and billions of naira millions of naira in taxation for the government, for Nigeria. And those entities that we are going to use also will be able, the multiplier effect is so wide. Come on. For crying out loud, let me tell you, crying out loud, let me tell you. Look at the democracies we are copying. Look at them. Can you still tell me that the foundation is here in Nigeria, but the political parties are shaky? We need dynamic. We need dynamism. We need people that can be very decisive to come and steer the ship of this sector we have.
Let me also say this. We're going to wrap up very shortly. There are people who have said, "Oh, the APC is going to be done after 2023 once the president is done." What do you say to that?
I don't believe that. We are strong followers to the aspirations and dealings of Mr. President. Mr. President has done so much for this country. We love his legacies, and we want to carry those legacies along. You tell me one Nigerian leader that you can call, to be honest, and very high, with very high.
But that's what they're
integrity.
saying, that the party is about the president. That once the president is done with his tenure,
it's not about the president. It's about what the president have laid down. It's about the president's ideology. If the president will have followers that will have the same kind of ideology he has in having Nigeria in their hearts, then we make Nigeria a better place.
So APC, you think, will continue past 20?
I will make APC to continue.
You will make APC continue.
Definitely.
What about for women, in the APC? Because you've said that you're in support of affirmative action. Is that something that you would look at, as part of your agenda in the APC?
I am a believer that what a man can do, a woman can even do it better.
Are you sure you're not just saying it?
I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying it. If my support base will be majority of women, then why will I bother? I mean, when I know that they have the capacity, they have the capability to transform. I told you earlier, I said we are in a digital age. Come on. We need to move on. We need a transformational leadership in this country. We need a leadership that will be participatory. You and I participating in government. We need it. We don't need democracy is not clowns. It's not aristocracy.
You sound really convincing, so I wish you the best, sir.
Thank you very much.
As you go on for the contest to win your party's leadership, okay, and hopefully all the things that you said that you would do, hopefully you get the chance to implement them.
Thank you
very much. Today, Sani Musa, for coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Still with Classic FM 94.